So hello everyone, welcome here to the Talladega SuperSpeedway for round 12 of the ASAR SuperSpeedway series here in sunny Talladega, Alabama. I am Josh Mertz, alongside me Adam Sweet and Nathan Curtis as our special guest, as Rob Peters is unable to make it to this race. So welcome, as you have a championship to celebrate from yesterday.
Thank you.
So
it's good to be here.
And it's really good to have you here, as we are here at the 2.66 mile tri-oval, as we start out with a wreck, but I have to go through the intro, so we're going to ignore it. That's really professional. As we were talking like 10 seconds before we even started, that Austin Hakes is the points leader, and the talk in the garage was he had about a 60-point lead or something like that. So would you say he's the champion, Nathan?
I would. I started racing out here this season, and Austin's hard to beat at super speedways. He's really patient. He can push. He can ride. I would definitely say he's going to be our champion this year.
So there's no exciting points battle like there is. Well, I don't think there's any points battle. You won yesterday. Austin's pretty much got this locked up. The man beside me, Adam, has the next championship locked up, and I believe Randall had the Nationwide Series locked up. I forgot the series, the Sports Stock. There we go. He has that series locked up, and I don't believe the trucks are locked up yet, though.
No, the trucks is really a close race between Austin and Randall.
So those are your points battles in the other series, as we're here in practice, and the drivers' meeting, I believe, is about to take place. I think it's either after or before qualifying, and qualifying is scheduled in 5 minutes. As I take out my trusty cellular device, as I get a text message, but I can't pay attention to that at the moment, as we have practice to pay attention to here at Talladega, as this is the biggest track that the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series comes to, but there are a lot of tracks that this series go to that are a lot bigger. I saw on the schedule, I believe, Pigs Creek, and I believe that's a 5-mile track, and it's about 17 grooves wide. That's about accurate, I would say. But Talladega SuperSpeedway, it was repaved in 2006. You can tell it's showing its age over the years, but it's still the crazy track, pack racing, and a big crash can happen at any second.
Yeah, I mean, speaking from a driver's standpoint, Talladega's really not one of those tracks where you want to get very rowdy. I'm not exactly a big fan of plate racing myself. I'm terrible at it, so I'm not really going to have much of a positive opinion of it to begin with, but yeah.
But everyone has their own opinion, as we're going to look on the timing sheets here. Car number 52, let's see, cycle through here. I don't have an entry list in front of my face. Leighton Seville at a 42.842, although times have absolutely no effect at all at a super speedway. Second is Justin Cholka, I believe. Third is Daniel Wilson, if I can find him. There he is in the peak antifreeze car, as I'm still getting used to numbers and paint schemes, as I could be really mean about Jeremy Murray because he stole my number, but that's not professional at all, so I won't be mean. In the AC Delco car number 81. As a lot of these drivers, they look like they're testing their cup cars for next season, although I don't know why you'd want to risk tearing up your equipment. As while we have a little bit of downtime here in practice, there are many ways you can join the conversation here for the Automotive Sports Network. You can join our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Automotive Sports Network, twitter.com/ASNTV_USA, hashtag ASNTVUSA for Facebook and Twitter. Our on-demand page, which you should be watching this on. If you're not, I would be pretty depressed. youtube.com/ASNTVUSA. We have our website, which is asntvUSA.tk. And you can email us at any time for any broadcast inquiry at asntvUSA@gmail.com. And I would like to point out that this broadcast is brought to you by Java Shot Designs, which is, interestingly enough, run by our very own Adam Sweet. So check him out if you need any paint scheme Facebook.com/JavaShotDesigns. So I got your plug out of the way, I got the URLs out of the way, and now we can pay attention to two cars crashing, Jeremy Murray and Daniel Wilson, past the start-finish line.
You know, I've been watching Daniel and Jeremy pushing each other on the backstretch, and, you know, Jeremy just didn't look stable. I don't know what it was, but he was pulling up, and he couldn't hold his line.
As I would think that the Gen 6 cars... are sorry to talk over you. The Gen 6 cars are really tricky in the draft.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was about to say. You cannot tandem draft in these Gen 6 cars. They do not hold to each other. I mean, the bumpers don't line up anymore. I mean, it's just one of those things that has been done to try and eliminate the tandem draft.
As well, I'll probably be mentioning that they're trying to tandem, but in all honesty, it doesn't work. As Adam just mentioned, I'll probably mention as they're trying to tandem away or something of the equivalent, but in all honesty, they're not. They're just getting a huge run off the rest of the field. There's a good old plate track to break up the normal racing. As Sean Whitehill around in car 39 in turn 2, as tomorrow we should have a broadcast. Oh, that's the Cup Series race. I'll be racing in that race, so we'll get a broadcast of that Thursday. The Precision Cup Series at Charlotte, the season finale, and then the Truck Series. I don't know what track they're running, Adam. Do you possibly know, Nathan?
Truck Series should be Homestead.
So we will have a broadcast of that as well. I'm racing in that as well, so we'll have that Friday, and then Saturday we will have the Sports Stock Series, and I am so professional because I don't have the schedule in front of my face. As I run Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday will be the broadcast schedule of Cup, Trucks, and Sports Stock Series. So keep your eyes glued to the on-demand page for any and all information. As warm-up, I believe, coming to a close here, we should get a message from race control when the driver's meeting is starting, so we would stick a microphone in there. As we have a little bit of a group here on pit lane, or only two cars, look out, pit road! I think that was Leighton Sabile. Yes, it was. He's spinning the car. I believe he tried to save it. He's okay, though. Luke Fleming driving around in the garage here.
That's what I was about to say. He's going to the garage for some reason. I don't know what's going on. I'm not hearing anything on the radio.
Maybe just parking up, waiting for the... he's going to get out of the car and get to the driver's meeting here. As we have a little bit of a pack here in pit lane. So let's see. Nathan Sovic, Leighton Sabile, Sean Whitehill, Jacob Kraus, and Robbie Jackson as they are leaving the pit lane. It looks like Jackson... No, he's leaving. And Kraus merges immediately. That could end badly. And so does Jackson. We know how badly that could end. We saw it in warm-up yesterday at Las Vegas. That if you merge early, you'll probably end up wrecked. And Fleming's behind the wall again, and he's doing some yard work for the Talladega Superspeedway officials. Luke, you're not paid to do that.
I'm hearing 5 minutes until qualifying on the radio, guys, just to give you a heads up.
As confirmed by race control. Thank you, Nathan. As we have 5 minutes until qualifying, and then I believe the driver's meeting is Luke Fleming still mows the grass. As race control confirmed driver's meeting after qualifying. So it's a crapshoot. It's even more of a crapshoot than Las Vegas was. Who's looking good for you guys?
You know, I'm going to bet on Justin Cholka and Austin Hakes being together at the end, in the front. Those two have got a great chemistry together. I know they've pushed each other to a win several times already this season. That's who I'm going to bank on.
As I believe Dylan Livingood's in this race. So I would have to go with him. He's a good friend of mine and an ASN colleague, but that's not why. He's just a hell of a racer. But if I can't choose a friend or a colleague, I'd have to go with Austin Hakes, because he is, like you said, really good at super speedways. And I can't go off the charts because the charts mean nothing at a super speedway.
That's right. You can be up front first lap and be in the back next lap. It doesn't matter. It just if somebody gets that nose underneath you, you're going to the back.
And that's why I never really pick winners myself. I mean, like how plate racing usually is. I mean, it's a complete crapshoot. You never know who's going to be up front, and you never know who's going to be in the back at the end. I mean, you could have a big wreck on lap 1 that would take out half the field, and then it just completely changes the game.
Yeah, but it's always fun to pick winners. Because if you're wrong, I mean, picking winners, you can get a lot of money from that. I know people like to do that. So if someone wrecks and you bet on them, you're going to lose a lot of money. I don't know why I put money into this, but let's go with it anyway.
That's right. Last night, I'm sure there was a lot of money laid down at Vegas, being, it is Vegas, and I would like to see what everybody won.
I think a lot of people were going for you to win the race, and you got wrecked. So they lost a lot of money, and they probably cried to the casinos. I don't know.
Yeah.
You can't hold me liable. I'm just the broadcaster.
That's right. And I want to apologize again to everybody that was watching last night. It was a fun race. I hate that it happened early, but it happens.
You still won the championship, though, so you could still, be happy that you won.
That's right.
Is it a lot of people looking at the charts? The 99 of Chris Hone, I believe, has run 74 laps. They say practice makes perfect, but why would you run so many laps at a super speedway?
He could have been trying practice pitting. He could have been trying qualifying laps, seeing what line was the best to get the best lap, draft laps, multiple things.
As I believe Nathan Sovic is practicing his entry to victory lane. Looks like, obviously, all the drivers want to be there at the end of the day. Leighton Sabile leaving pit lane.
Looks like Fleming is stuck behind the wall somehow. I haven't figured that one out yet.
He left his pit box, and he drove behind the wall and was doing lawn mowing duties. And I think he needs to get towed. I don't know if the marshals will be able to get down there for him in time. Who knows? Having a little fun here before the race starts. As there's not really that much action going on here. Many of the drivers just winding down. They've hopped out of their cars, heading towards the media center to get ready for the drivers' meeting here. We do have a couple cars on track, Chris Hone and Sean Whitehill. But other than that, it's pretty much single-car runs preparing for qualifying. 2 cars in the 42-second bracket, Sabile and Cholka, and then Daniel Wilson's at 43.090. But as we stated earlier, times really don't matter at all at a super speedway.
We got a late injury now with the 98 of Tim Smith. I'm seeing him on pit lane at this time, too.
As it looks like he borrowed the 98 Ford from Phil Parsons' team, because I don't exactly know the team name. I think it's Phil Parsons Racing, as they change their name every other year. But it looks like he borrowed their car, so he's going to be racing as we are heading to qualifying, as clouds have rolled in here at Talladega. And they're giving the command for qualifying. I've never heard that before. So we will wait for the times to roll in here at Talladega, as this is pretty much the non-crapshoot, as little of a crapshoot you can get. It's still full throttle, turning left. You don't lift at all, but any deviation to your racing line, and it could matter, whether between getting the pole or starting last.
I mean, honestly, qualifying on a plate track, this is one of those tracks where if you run 2 inches off the line, it could be about a tenth off of your time. I mean, you have to be on the yellow line the entire way around on the second lap.
Do you know if this isn't? I believe the Fast and ASAR guys, they're going to merge together for next season. Is there a rule that the drivers have to stay above the yellow line in qualifying? Do you know?
None that I know of.
Well, I believe, that'd be pointless to have it being talked about in the drivers' meeting. I would think that going under the yellow line in the trioval would cost you time, as you'd be turning more and you wouldn't have the banking to support you. But we'll see as the times roll in here. As
Honestly, usually the difference is marginal. It can only mean maybe about half a tenth max.
I mean, well, as you were saying, if you run 2 inches off the line, that could mean a tenth. And maybe if you ran 2 inches off the line, you're trying to capitalize and get all the time you can, as currently on pole Robbie Jackson in car 28, 45.850. Then the car number 3, I believe,
Joshua Hawkins.
45.785.
Looks like Joshua must have run the line the first lap to get that time. He didn't run up high to get warmed up.
You think that would hurt
And
him?
honestly, you can do that. I mean, I believe I believe these cars they're pretty much geared to where you don't have to run that top line on the first lap to gain all that momentum. I mean, like I said, I'm not 100% sure on how they're geared, but I think it's how it's done to where you don't have to do that, but you can if you want.
As currently, I believe car number 8 is that's Eric Epler as 45.487. Jeremy Murray 45.552, and car number 5. I don't have an entry list in front of me. Car 5.
That would be Jacob Krause.
Kraus is in the 5. Normally he's in the 48 when you're not running at him. So everyone running different numbers. So I have absolutely no idea. Eric Epler.
That's one thing I hope that the Fast and ASAR merger takes care of is consistent numbers.
As a broadcaster, it really wreaks havoc on my brain. As Austin Hakes is in the 29, but he's in the 21 for the Truck Series. He's in the 80. No, you're in the 88, Nathan. I don't know what number Austin's in for the Cup Series.
He is in the 21 as well.
As it's Epler, Hakes, Murray, Coleman, Kraus, Gordon, Hawkins, Choco, Whitehill, Fleming, Robbie Jackson, Nathan Sovic, Daniel Wilson, Leighton Sibile, and Tim Smith. Your 15-car grid. As we have 5 seconds left, it does not look like Dylan Livingood has set a time, so we will wait and see. See if he is entered in the race. Chris Hone. Looks like Smith disqualified himself. And Matt Kemp. It looks as though a couple of cars have not set times. So we are going to see if the drivers' meeting is starting. So we're going to stick a mic up there.
Now. Okay, a few things to go. Basically reminders for one. Racing back under caution is not allowed, so 5 to go. If you're side by side with someone, it's a gentleman's agreement. You guys just work together, figure out who's going to be ahead of who. And if you feel like somebody's passed you that shouldn't have passed, you can ask for a review. If it's a situation where the driver that passed you stays out or you stay out, we'll go into pits and review it. Otherwise, we're just going to review it after the race because the positions change anyways. If you do pass somebody under the caution and you want to get the position back, just let them by under the first caution lap, and we'll make a note of it. Cautions, if you cause 2 tonight, we still have the one and done rules, so the first race. The next season you will have 1 caution, and if he causes 1 in it, you get parked for 1 race. Out of bounds, the yellow line's obviously on this track, so anywhere below that yellow line is out of bounds, and if you're caught going down there to advance your position, you'll get a black flag. If it's caught after the race on the replay, it's a 10-point penalty. And the one thing we're going to try tonight is a red flag procedure. And basically what that amounts to is if we get a caution late in the race, like 5 to go, and we have enough laps left to get a green flag run in for the finish, we'll bring the cars down pit road and have the leader stop. If you're looking at You can see the pit stalls where they're at. It's the unused pit stalls back there that where we want you to stop.
Now,
And the leader.
Jeremy, you're gonna have to keep rolling like little by little because you can get DQ'd when you're stopped on track like that. So just roll maybe not even 1 mile an hour, and just roll slowly. That way you don't get DQ'd or sent to tow, because sometimes that does happen at some tracks. So just roll maybe less than 1 mile an hour, and you'll be good.
But we're gonna have the leader pull into those pit stalls that aren't used. There's a lot of them there, and basically stop the field. As we come down pit road, there'll be no passing. If you pass, you're gonna get a black flag on the restart, and if it's caught after the race on the replay, it'll be a 1 lap penalty from your finishing position. What we'll do is we'll take the caution flag, come back around. When pit road's open, we'll have the leader bring down the field, and we'll stop and wait for the 1 to go signal before pulling back out. And as we're going back on the track, if you want to forfeit your position and pit, you can. And you can race guys off pit road that are pitted also. I think that's everything I've got. I don't know if Luke or Randall had anything, or does anybody have any questions?
Only thing I had was... Oh, go ahead. Oh, okay. Only thing I had was just the rolling on the pit road whenever we did that red flag procedure, because you can be towed really easily. That's it.
So are we gonna roll or are we gonna stop on pit road? Because I'm kind
We're
of
basically gonna roll really slowly. If not, unless Jeremy tells you to stop, just keep rolling like really slowly.
Luke, you can if you stop like way before anyone else's pit stall, you can actually stop, and if they get towed, they get towed. But it's not like they're gonna have to wait 5 minutes. So. Yeah, it's only like 10
Oh
seconds.
yeah, but I mean, if they get towed later, we'll see how it goes, I guess. But I mean, if you don't want to get towed, just keep rolling like a little bit at a time. Other than that, we should be good for tonight.
The other
Do now.
As they were just finishing up there, I don't think anything else was that important, but if it was, well, I just made a mistake. So that was the drivers' meeting as they covered the red flag procedure. That I'm pretty sure what I got from that was the drivers will roll down pit lane, park and or crawl like a tortoise, and wait until the pace car drives around, finishes its determined laps, and then they will go back on track and go back green. So we will get a green flag finish here at Talladega.
Yeah, I hear they're wanting them to do about 1 mile per hour down pit road. That sounds pretty interesting. I haven't ever seen it done, and it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be something different.
As there was a race that ASN was supposed to cover when it was the Ninja Racing League Round 2 at Ricky Raceway. They did this procedure, which ended in an incredible finish. I do believe Matt Wishart won when Stephen Knight flew into the catch fence coming to the start-finish line. There was a huge crash in Turn 3, huge crash at the start-finish line, and it was all because of this procedure. It was used once. I do believe it was Dylan Livingood's idea, and he recommended it to the officials here for the ASAR SuperSpeedway Series, and they were going to try it tonight if it is required. As I do believe the drivers' meeting is still going on, but I already turned the mic off up there, so we can't exactly get back there. So do you think this race will be clean?
Probably not.
No way.
The race fan in me wants to see a
since-
clean race.
since this is Talladega. I mean, I guess now we could just start taking bets on when the big one's gonna happen.
I'm going to say early. These guys are maturing a lot. They are racing together a lot more, but, there's still a lot of uncertainties there. You know, a lot of people still want to get to the front on the first lap. So I'm gonna say early.
I think there's going to be 2 wrecks, one at the beginning and one at the end. Did I shock you both by saying that?
Not really. You know, and there could be more than 2.
And I wanted to say my apologies for continually cutting over you guys.
Oh, don't worry about it, Adam. I'm used to it. I was cut over all the time by Randy Cheneth in Proto GT, so I'm used to it. I cut over people all the time, so I guess I deserve it.
You do not.
Oh.
Oh wait, I just did it.
Well, can we get a director to escort him out of the commentary box, please? Thank you. Your time is up, Nathan. I'm sorry. No, I'm kidding. You're gonna have to go watch this from your hauler there, or you could watch it from the Miller Lite Tower. I think there's seats up there. Get free beer. Watch a race. What more can you ask for?
I'll just go jump on the pit box of my former teammate Austin Hakes.
As you see that, I believe in this shot, you see that little white thing right above to the top right of the ASN logo. That's where we're sitting. So we get a good seat for the start-finish line, as this driver's meeting is taking longer than anticipated. So we have to fill it up. As you might see a little right in the center of the grandstand. I don't think you can. I don't know what that is. I think that's a race control box. But we're
It's
sitting...
actually a refreshments box.
Really? As we're sitting in that white box that looks like a trailer that's levitating in midair. Yeah, that's where we're sitting, and it's not very comfortable. My seat is very, very hard.
No, wait. The white one is the race control box. The red one in the center of the grandstand is the refreshments box.
So where are we sitting? I have no idea where I'm sitting. I think we're sitting next to race control. Yeah. They put a blindfold on me and then they walked me up here. Okay, that's my excuse.
Or they probably put the truck up on a crane or something.
Oh, don't make crane jokes. Please don't be Randy Cheneth. I had enough crane jokes at Mosport. I don't need any more crane jokes here. As this driver's meeting is taking longer than expected. As I really don't understand why it's taking so long. I don't know what's so hard about going fast, turning left. That was a bit arrogant. Ignorant, rather.
No, honestly, they're probably just going over all the policies for the new people, and I mean, that does actually take a little bit.
I'm going to try and get the microphone connection back up, but with my luck, as soon as I put the microphone on, they're probably just going to end it, so let's see.
A lot of dumb stuff in practice.
Yeah, no blocking either until 5 to go. And when you block, if you block at your own risk if you get turned. It'll be reviewed. If it was a legit, move up and the person was there and you get turned, then the person will not be penalized. If it was just straight up they dumped you because you came up the track, then they'll be penalized.
Yeah,
We good?
I believe so.
We are doing happy hour, right?
Yes,
And it was a close guesstimate, about 30 seconds, and the driver's meeting ended. They were just talking about blocking rules, and Randall Coleman said, if you block, it's your fault. So we have cars on track for warm-up, and this is going to be good. 5-minute session. I'm pretty sure they're going to use this for knowing how to pit, wouldn't you think?
Likely they're going to be doing a bunch of pitting practice, pack racing, all that stuff. Just your typical warm-up session.
So Jeremy Murray will lead them out of the pit lane in the AC Delco Chevy SS. Then it's going to be the Eagle 1 Toyota of Alex Gordon. Then the Lincoln Park Chevy of Jacob Kraus with the Revolution Engines Chevy of Eric Epler. So as they roll off of the pit lane, past the start-finish line, past our position here, we're going to see this little pack, it's the whole field, rather, as we got a car around, and I believe it's Kraus. And I don't think, actually, it's not. it is Alex Gordon. And I thought it was Kraus, because typically he smashes the gas pedal and spins. Nothing wrong to him. He's trying to get used to these cars. But they're trying to get the track rubbered in. Even though it's a super speedway, you still need rubber on the track to get grip, despite all the banking on the track.
Yeah, I'm just going to sit here and watch on Austin Hakes, see how quick he can catch up with the pack. You know, he is riding along back there in turn 4, and I just want to see if he can suck up like he thinks he can.
As the second pack, Tim Smith, Luke Fleming, Josh Hawkins, Daniel Wilson, Randall Coleman, and Chris Hahn, with Alex Gordon out by himself in the 77 car. And it doesn't matter, but we're going to go through times. 29 Austin Hakes, 51.186 is your fastest car, as Jeremy Murray and Nathan Sovic are battling for the lead of the pack. As I'm pretty sure they're going to have a little pack racing here, and then pit as Leighton Sabile, it looks like, drove in the inside, nearly making contact with the 28 Robbie Jackson. He did. Jackson in the wall. So let's see if they're going to practice pitting here. It doesn't look like they will. Past the start-finish line they go. Alex Gordon about to be caught by the pack, it looks like, if we can get our cameraman sorted here. I think the guy in the truck doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, we have that problem a lot.
They select random cameras. Can someone slap the director for me, please? Thank you. Okay, we're going to get a slap to the director down in the truck. And he can hear me, I'm sorry, but you deserve it. And we can talk to the director if we want. And still happy hour. As Jacob Kraus, I'm going to confuse him for Joey all the time. As I'm sorry for cutting you off. Nathan, you can go ahead.
That's fine. I was just going to say, it looks like what I was wondering did work. Austin Hakes did pull up to that front pack.
As he's alongside Jeremy Murray in car 81 now. And he's going to work his way into the pack. As Leighton Sabile behind him. That's a nice car to tell who he is. As there's no green car except for Leighton Sabile. So you see a green car and you know it's him. Eric Epler in car number 8. Behind Jacob Kraus in car number 5. Leading the field here.
Looks like Austin's going to team up with his next season fast teammate of Alex Gordon, see if he can push him around a little bit.
There's a car exiting the pit lane. It's the 10 car of Choka.
Looks like the 5 spinning, turn 1. Looks like he got
Kraus
hit
is around. Oh boy, don't pull it down in front of the field. Alex Gordon around, and he got hit. As everyone crashing out of corner number 2. I don't know who he got hit by, but he got clipped. There's a big hit for Alex Gordon. As they are pulling down, we're going to go through the grid here at Talladega. So on pole is Eric Epler in car number 8 at a 45.487. Alongside him is Austin Hakes. Row 2 has Jeremy Murray and Randall Coleman, who has nearly equal times. Row 3, Jacob Kraus and Alex Gordon. Row 4, Josh Hawkins and Justin Shulka. Row 5, Sean Whitehill and Luke Fleming. Row 6 has Robbie Jackson and Nathan Sovic. Row 7, Daniel Wilson and Leighton Sabile. Row 8, Chris Hone and Tim Smith. And row 9 has Matt Kemp, although I do not know if he is currently getting ready to race or not. As race control saying that Kemp needs about 30 seconds, apparently.
And they're going to put him on a 5-minute clock or something.
I think they're going to do another 5 minutes of happy hour here to let the drivers get practice and allow Kemp to get through tech inspection, as I think that's what he's having an issue with. I think the tech rules here at ASAR and Fast are pretty strict, as we had an issue in tech inspection yesterday with Carl Robinson, and now we have one with Matt Kemp.
They are. I mean, we had a car back earlier in the season fail tech inspection twice, I think, trying to get the car out for qualifying, because just the front end was just ever so slightly off.
As they grid, here's the command. So, as the command has been given, or is about to be given, as my director tells me the wrong thing, so we will be sure, as there is your field with Eric Epler and Austin Hakes on the front row of the grid. As I believe we have about 15 cars, wouldn't you say that's an accurate guess from the ones that are on track?
I'm showing about 17 on the entry list.
You were going to say something, Adam?
No, I didn't really have anything to say.
As we have a 66-lap race here at Talladega.
And now, race
Here's the
fans, the most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines.
So the command has been given here at Talladega for the ASAR SuperSpeedway Series, round 12 at Talladega. The points are pretty much locked up by Austin Hakes in car 29, but that doesn't matter. We still have fantastic racing, even though the championship is locked up. I'd say the race yesterday was fantastic, even though you had the championship locked up, Nathan, and I'm pretty sure the racing at Iowa was equally as fantastic, with Randall Coleman having that championship locked up for about a month. As they round corners 3 and 4 behind the Dodge pace car, a decent-sized field, actually not a decent, a good-sized field here at Talladega for the ASAR SuperSpeedway Series. Pace cars off. Glad you could join us here on the Automotive Sports Network for 66 laps. As with Nathan Curtis and Adam Sweet, I am Josh Mertz up in the commentary box getting ready to call the race for you. We hope it'll be a good one, and we will try to have fun. Eric Epler leads us to the green flag, and we are underway here at Talladega. Looks like a car slow on the start. Tim Smith in car 98, he stalled on the racing surface.
Yeah, I just heard over the radio, Tim Smith is having issues with his car. He may go a couple laps down on this one.
As it looks like he has gotten the car towed out, and Eric Epler pushed Hakes to the wall down the backstretch. We talked about aggression yesterday. I think that is way too aggressive for the first half of a lap.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be doing that on first lap. I mean, if you start making enemies this early in the race, you're not going to have anybody working with you at the very end, and it's just, excuse me, it's not going to end very well.
It's critical at a plate track to have friends. At the end of lap 1, Austin Hakes is your leader, with Randall Coleman in second, Epler third, but he doesn't have a drafting partner close. He's got about half a car length to Jeremy Murray. 4 cars on the outside with Hakes, Coleman, Gordon, and Cholka, as the outside lane is moving, but the inside lane has more cars as Epler hops out to the outside. So the outside is moving, inside is not. As they're way on the outside. That's a really peculiar lane for the outside. Typically they're in the middle of the track.
I mean, the top side is where the momentum is. So obviously a bunch of guys are going to go up high to start the race, but I think as the race goes on, they will start to kind of use the lower lane a little more.
So it looks like Josh Hawkins has fallen back from the field. Chris Hone, Sean Whitehill, and Daniel Wilson have as well, as Leighton Seville right at the back of this train, about a second back. But the rest of the cars are hanging out back waiting for something to happen, which is a pretty smart decision. But I would think that Hawkins is way too far back. As to the outside, Gordon.
He might have had an issue getting through the gears there at first.
As I didn't even think about that, actually. As now Coleman drops to the inside with the run. He's trying to get the lead at the line. Hakes has it still, as Coleman had a run, but then he lost momentum because he doesn't have any drafting help down there. As everyone hanging out on the top side, as Alex Gordon in second place now in car number 77. And it looks like they're going to lap Tim Smith in car 98.
Yeah, I was about to say, it looks like Tim Smith has made it back on track. Looks like they got his car to fire. I don't know what the issue was. I haven't heard, but if I hear anything, I will let you know.
As I was going to make a comment, maybe electrical issues.
We have a car around in the back.
Car around, it's Jacob Kraus. Will the caution fly? Check safety car lights. Safety car lights are not on. One car spin. We are still okay, it looks like.
And that's usually the case with single car spins. They usually do not throw a caution for just single car incidents like that because, you know, if he just spins and there's no debris or anything, why throw a caution?
As here's a replay, it looks like he got in the wall, and he tried to get off the wall. He turned too far and got hit by a hone and overcorrected into the outside wall. So he is still going here in car number 5, but back to the front of the field, Austin Hakes is your leader.
I'm getting word that the 77 is moving to the back. He's having issues as well.
77 car of Alex Gordon. As we have 2 lanes forming, 4 cars and then 3. And with an issue on your car, you don't want to be up front when something you might cause, or you can cause something to happen, I should say. As Justin Cholko with Eric Epler, I believe are those two teammates? I could have swore they were.
They're not.
They are working together with Austin Hakes and Leighton Sabile with Randall Coleman on the outside.
You mentioned the 77 dropping back. I imagine he may be having cooling issues, and a lot of these guys may start having cooling issues because of the way the cooling systems are on these Gen 6 cars.
As I do think that at least NASCAR, they did mandate on the restrictor plate tracks that you do run that special package, although they forgot to mention in the opener, they don't have any plates on these cars. They're running 220 miles an hour, but if they're running the same aero and cooling package, you got that little tiny grill strip, and if that's blocked, you're not getting any air to the car.
Especially with the RPMs up, that's going to run the engine hotter, and it's usually never ends well.
As now, currently single file, Austin Hanks, Justin Cholka, Eric Epler, Fleming, and Jeremy Murray, your top 5 here at Talladega. As this is where we would go into a commercial break after 8 laps, but we don't have any commercials, so joke's on us as you continue to watch the action. I tried to make a joke there. Nobody's going to laugh? Okay. You don't have to fake it. It's okay.
That was a terrible joke.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just going to go cry in a corner now. Anyway.
We are still live. Together, man.
As the top 5 here, as Fleming's looking onto the yellow line, top 5 here hasn't changed. But on the outside, Gordon with Coleman, they are working together. Remember, I was going to freak out and say they're trying to tandem, but they're not. On the way outside, maybe Gordon's still having cooling issues with the car, because Coleman and him were running, and they were having a huge head of steam, and then Gordon just hopped out to the outside, the way outside of the track.
Looks like he's jumped back in line now on that inside line that's about 7 cars deep, to see if that's the problem or if he's got something on the grill. Maybe he's going to pull up to one to blow it off.
Another thing is, I've noticed they've already fallen single file. They're probably just taking it easy until later in the race, and it's really the smartest thing you can do on a plate track.
Because you don't want to... The fans would love to see 3-4 wide racing, but when it's a 66-lap race, you don't want to end up with one car at the end. Because it's only lap 10.
And that's really something people complain about a lot, the single file racing with plate racing, but they have to do it they can race 2 or 3 wide, but it's really not a smart idea, especially this early in the race.
Especially in a Sprint Cup race, the Daytona 500, when there's 200 laps, and just because there's a 50-lap run, that's still a quarter of the race. You still have 3/4 of the race to enjoy, and just because there's single file for the quarter of the race, then that race is quote-unquote terrible, as many people would say. But they would use a lot worse grammar and terms, but I can't say those words.
Be very professional to repeat that on the broadcast.
As Jacob Kraus being lapped here after he is spun, staying to the outside in car number 5. And the top 5 are trying to break away here. And I'm just gonna say it. I want to get this over with. Wilson and Gordon are trying a tandem. There we go.
Car in
That's
the wall at the back. Car in the wall out of 4.
car in the wall. Was it Kraus again?
It might have been.
As he's slowing down according to telemetry. Pulling it. Yeah, there's a lot of damage on the right-hand side of that car. A lot of damage.
Just want to say, I've seen Matt Kemp is back on track. He's in pit road. He must have passed tech inspection a little late. But apparently they got him taken care of, whatever it was. And they're going to allow him to get back on track.
I would think that maybe the ASAR officials are going to give him his laps back. Maybe, because he couldn't pass tech. I don't know. It looks like Kraus missed his pit stall, and he's driving the car into the pit lane wall, and now he pulls into his stall. And Josh Hawkins got in the wall in car number 3. There's a lot of damage on the right-hand side of that car. And you could see when you're alone, you're running 205 miles an hour. With a normal restrictor plate package, you'd think that's incredible speed, but he's got damage. And
I'll tell you what, that outside line's starting to scare me, the way they're moving around a lot. I'm watching the 75 and 76, and it's not looking pretty.
As the 28 of Robbie Jackson nearly had his right quarter panel hit the left front of Luke Fleming, as from this camera, the spectator camera situated in the grandstand, you can see the outside line did not have the run down the back straightaway as they round corner number 3 and corner number 4 here at Talladega, as the outside line falling back, but it looks like they have more cars, and the outside wall is Gordon, but he saved it.
Yeah, I mean, which line is going to move depends on how many cars are on each line. I mean, if you have 8 cars on the outside and 3 on the inside, yeah, the outside line is going to move. But if it's like 6 versus 6, neither line's really going to get the advantage.
And that also depends on how tight they are packed together. Also, nose to tail wise. You know, if you got them a little bit more spread apart on the outside line, they're not going to pull up as quick as they are on the inside.
Wouldn't you think that maybe the momentum, if they were 6 and 6, for example, maybe wouldn't you think the momentum of the as they're passing Josh Hawkins now, wouldn't you think the momentum for the outside would allow them to propel by? Maybe, yeah.
Like this, I mean, they don't really scrub a lot of speed in the corners.
That's true. As now we are
looks like
single
Jacob
file.
Kraus has parked his car. I think due to damage, he is parked.
It looked as though he had maybe right front suspension issues, because he hit the wall and then was just driving repeatedly into the pit wall. Maybe it wasn't his deal, or it wasn't his doing. Just the car wouldn't turn or go straight. Maybe he's going to try and find his way up into a grandstand seat to watch this race.
And that's really a shame, too, because you know he had a good car. I mean, but then again, I guess it's just the nature of the beast. I mean, just sometimes it's one little tap is all it takes to completely destroy the suspension.
Yeah, he did get in.
Something to that effect.
He did get in the wall, and then the left rear got hit by Chris Hone, and then it spun him, and I believe he might have broke something else when he hit the wall, as that's Matt Kemp getting past, and Tim Smith. So those are the 2 lapped cars. They're perfectly fine lap cars, but Smith had electrical issues on the start, I do believe, and Kemp couldn't get through inspection. That's really strange he couldn't get through inspection until, what, lap 10?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything on the radio about what's going on, but, you know, that was a long time.
As from the helicopter...
I mean, there may be more to it than we know. I mean, there could be a multitude of issues, like something might have just went wrong with the car, even.
That is true. As Eric Epler in car 8 got pushed back to 5th, as from the helicopter camera you can really tell when people are moving. That and the camera in the grandstand, especially. As the 28 of Robbie Jackson in 3rd place. On the outside is Epler. He had a huge run to pass the 7 of Nathan Sovic, but he couldn't get that done. Alex Gordon on the outside of Murray in the 81. out of corner number 2, and Choco's looking, he's trying to force the issue, backing up, stacking up is Jackson in the 28, and that is going to open the door for a 3-wide battle. No, Fleming thought better of it. So outside is Epler, inside is Jackson, and it looked like Cholka, he tried the inside down the backstretch, and the hole closed up with Austin Hakes, and then it stacked that line up, and nearly Robbie Jackson had to pay the price for it.
They should be getting close to pit stops. We should be within 5, 6, 7 laps of pit stops.
As we will keep our ears peeled to the radio for any information.
I'm hearing that Matt Kemp may be getting his laps back.
I would imagine he would get his laps back because he couldn't get through tech. That's not his fault. That's not, as the driver, that's not your fault. So, I mean, it would only be fair.
Which is a shame because fast and ASAR tech inspections.
Oh, that is Gordon! No, it's Sobek, excuse me! And a major crash! And Kemp can't get his laps back because the car is torn to pieces! As we were just talking about that, Murray is involved, Robbie Jackson, Luke Fleming around is Tim Smith. Both the lapped cars involved. Caution is out. And who is that smoking? I believe that's Epler. As a massive crash out of turn 4, Sovic, I believe that originated right around him on lap number 20. That takes the pit stops out of the equation, but it takes the 2 lapped cars out as well. So let's take another look at what just happened here. And sorry for talking over you as the wreck started, Adam.
I think we were all yelling something to the effect of big trouble.
As we're going to bring it up here. And we're going to, this is really professional, rolling it back on a live picture. But I didn't get it, as we're going to roll it here. Cholka tried it again. He tried the inside again. It stacked the inside up. And I don't know why Cholka was trying that. He tried the inside again. It stacked up. And Sovic and Jackson had absolutely nowhere to go. And then they pounded the wall. Fleming was sideways. It collected Kemp. It collected Murray. It looks like Randall Coleman had an incident in the inside wall. Tim Smith was involved as well. So pretty much this involved the entire field because Justin Cholka tried the inside when you're not supposed to try and pass in the middle of the corner, or the end of the corner, I would think. As around was Eric Epler in car number 8, as we're going to get another replay for you guys. And I don't know, that's just my opinion. I don't know why you would try and pass someone. He was on his bumper here, and we're going to go on board the rear of Justin Cholka's car in car number 10 and see what he saw as he tries the inside there, and you see Sovic gets a huge run as they make contact, and then the whole field gets torn up behind him.
And what's sad is it may have just been an issue of he just misjudged where his car is, his car was to where the other cars around him were.
As we're going to take a look and see, I saw Josh Hawkins was slow on, he was way behind this accident. As we're going to see, he was way behind the accident. As here he is, he's slowing down, and he just drives into Sovic. I don't even understand.
Honestly, once all the smoke starts coming up, you can't see anything.
I mean, I don't know. He was off the gas. He was off the gas coming off of 4, and there was no smoke whatsoever. And then he just drove into Sovic's car.
You know, the one that really came out of this bad is Matt Kemp. If you look at his car and look at the damage on it, he is pretty much done.
As he waited for 10 laps to get through tech inspection, he was allowed to get through tech, and then he's involved in a wreck.
I believe he was the one that hit the fence, too.
As while they're pitting, we are going to go back and take another look at this accident here. They were all in a huge, huge pack on the opening lap, or, well, it was near the midway point here at Talladega, and it looks as though he took it down the pit lane to immediately damage fixed. We're going to go and see what happened here from the helicopter camera, as I haven't used that camera yet. We're going to go back and see what happened from the helicopter camera here at Talladega. You see Choka stacked up the field, then around went Sovic into Jackson, and Alex Gordon got through, then Murray hit Fleming, and then Kemp hit Murray, and then into the fence they go. He hit the fence really hard as Randall Coleman was avoiding, and he slammed the inside wall with the left side of the car. It's a good thing that catch fence is there, otherwise that car would have been into the grandstands. It was clear of the wall, and around went Tim Smith. So honestly, it was just, I don't know. I hate to say that Choco was aggressive, but he was going for the lead out of a corner. He might have misjudged, it's still debatable, but it stacked the field up, and they were so tight that it was a chain reaction.
I mean, that's just... I know I've already said this once already, but it's just the nature of the beast with plate racing. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. You know, you could have about 5 feet to somebody's bumper, and that would close up in about half a second usually. Well, not half a second. That's an overstatement, but honestly, you get the idea.
Yeah, the closing rate is so ridiculous in the Gen 6 cars. I do know. So, let's reset the field here for you. Well, let's not, because they're all pitting, I do believe. So let's hold off until the end of this pitting cycle here. Gordon fake pits. So I'm looking through the field, and it looks like we have a decent size of okay cars.
Yeah, a lot of cars may have been involved in an accident, but a lot of cars still probably just didn't get all that much damage either. I mean, probably a lot of it is just cosmetic.
As Whitehill missed his pit stall because Daniel Wilson was coming out, so he's going to have to roll around the track again. 54, Matt Kemp, I believe he's still on the racetrack in the Taco Bell car. Yes, he is. But look at the front end of that Taco Bell Chevy. Torn to bits, and I don't think that the crew would be able to saw that front end off and get a new one on in time.
The 98 car of
Tim Smith
was the lucky dog as well.
So he is in 6th place now, as Josh Hawkins in 14th. I'm looking here, and there really isn't that many severely torn up cars. Sovic, back end is torn to pieces. I think the front end's a little bit dented, is it? Let's see as he comes by here. It's torn up a little bit, but, I mean, if you're in the draft, wouldn't it negate the damage? Wouldn't you think?
To a certain extent. I mean, you still want to have your car as pristine as it can be.
As slow as Hawkins here, as he's letting everyone by, it looks like. So Murray has pulled the car behind the wall, and so has Jacob Kraus.
Going green this lap, guys.
As I was about to pull him in for an interview, but we are going green, so that interview will not happen. So Gordon is leading. On his outside is Epler, and then it is Jackson, Fleming, and Hone, your top 5 here at Talladega. We still have a decent-sized field. 2 cars are retired. 2 are off the lead lap. 13 are on the lead lap here at Talladega on lap 23 of 66. Not even halfway. As Gordon leads us down, getting close to the restart box. 77 miles an hour. Green flag back in the air. As off a little bit... Oh, he might have spun his tires. As my vocabulary failed as soon as Leighton Sabile spun his tires on the restart. Sorry about that tongue twister there. As he spun his tires, but he is still going okay. As down the back straightaway, Gordon, Epler, Jackson, and Chris Hone will lead. But it looks like he is on the outside, so Smith will filter into the 5th place. As now do you think they're going to take it a little bit more precautious? They don't want to end up in another wreck?
Likely, even with the cars that have damage on them, likely they will have to now, because you're going to see a lot of cars not be able to suck up as well as they were earlier.
So I'm noticing a lot of Fords in this series. Mainly you see Chevrolet dominance in most of the series, as Epler goes to the lead. So we had a Toyota leading, and now the Revolution Engines car of Eric Epler will lead. We have a Ford, another Ford. We have 3 Fords, a couple Chevrolets. I don't believe there's a Dodge in this field, although I do know if I was racing, I'd be a Dodge. But we have 3 manufacturers in this race. So that's good to see. It's always good for manufacturer diversity.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you see all the Dodge, well, not the Dodges, but the Fords in the pack. I mean, Ford has one heck of a restrictor plate package.
As I don't remember, the race was a couple months ago. Jimmy Johnson won the day. Oh, he's around. Never mind. Car around. It's Whitehill. And it looks like off the bumper of Coleman. I don't think it threw the caution is out. Caution is out. So I was about to say something about who won the restrictor plate races, and they wreck again. So let's try and get a replay here for you guys. A car spun in the middle of the pack, and if you're thinking, why did they throw the caution there? It was because Whitehill was in front of cars and Kraus was in the back of the field. So let's take a look at what happened here. It looks like they stacked up. Oh, yeah, they stacked up, and Randall Coleman just drilled the back of Sean Whitehill's car number 39. So
running that close to each other, that happens.
It's a product of the restrictor plate racing, I would say, even though they're not plated, excuse me, today. As I was mentioning earlier, Ford does have a good package. I was trying to think if they won a restrictor plate race recently, but Johnson won. Then yeah, David Reagan did win at Talladega, and then I know in 2012 it was Matt Kenseth all the way winning the Daytona 500. I believe he won the Fall Talladega race. So yeah, they do have a good restrictor plate package, and it's a shame, honestly, to see so many Chevrolets and just a few Fords and a few Dodges and a few Toyotas.
Well, Chevrolet still, after all these years, remains a fan favorite. I mean, you're gonna see a lot of Chevrolets in the pack usually.
As the whole field pitting again. Honestly, I wouldn't have pitted, as the caution was a couple laps ago. But it doesn't hurt.
About to stack up on pit road, it looks like. You see this?
Yeah, stack up on pit road with Tim Smith, Justin Cholka, and Luke Fleming. As they're all going to pull down. This is not going to end well, as we got cars on the inside lane, cars on the outside lane. As major stack up with the 29 of Austin Hakes, 75 Luke Fleming. As it looks like some of these cars don't know where their pit stalls are. As I do know, with most of these series, the officials don't allow the pit crews they allow the pit crews to set up in a random pit box for practice, and as soon as you qualify, you're forced to relocate. Honestly, that's not the smartest of ideas, but it's the way they've been doing it for many years now in all these series, and it hasn't broke. So, I mean, you can't really blame the drivers, as they see their pit box in one part of the track for practice, and then it's completely moved after qualifying.
And that's another. What we just saw on pit road, that's also a reason why NASCAR has mandated no cars can be 2 wide or 3 wide going down pit road. They must remain in a single line.
So you don't end up with stack-ups on pit lane.
Exactly.
As leading after the pit stops, Leighton Sabile in car number 52, although I do believe he stayed out, along with Coleman, Whitehill, and Sovic. As most of the field here, Josh Hawkins getting back up with the field. He is the lucky dog. As Matt Kemp still soldiering on with a torn-up car, I would think every pit stop he'd try and pull into his pit stall and try and persuade his crew to tear that front bumper off and the front whole nose part off and get a new one on, but I don't think the series officials would allow the crew to do that in pit lane, as I don't recall seeing that.
You know, I just heard on the radio that Matt Kemp's laughing and joking about not having a hood. You know, he's saying, who needs hood when you have swag? You know, it's kind of funny that somebody's having fun with it. Even though he's been in a big wreck, been into the wall, don't have a hood, he still has fun with it.
That's a good thing to see.
I was just about to say the same exact thing. I mean, it's good to see drivers when they get caught up in big wrecks like that and they're still joking around and having fun. That's really just the point of the whole thing. You just want to go out there and have fun.
as that is the point of the ASAR and Fast series, as this is the last race for the series under the ASAR banner. Next season will be under the Fast series. They have the Fresh Talent series, the Cup series, Truck and Sports Stock series, along with the Super Speedway series. So if there's something you would like to see, check out friends@simracerstour.com for any and all information, as I do believe they have a Facebook page. It is Fast Racing, so you can check that out, or friends@simracerstour.com.
You know, they're picking on Nathan Sovic, telling him to hit the race car.
Oh,
they're
boy.
going back to the days of Thunder's days.
Don't tear up the Charger. Why would you tear up the Charger? That's the only Dodge on the track. Oh, well, you can give it a shot.
It's all fun and games, I guess. You know.
It looks like it's a police car. I don't know if there's an actual cop driving the car or what, but if you hit him, he'll probably pull you over. As we're about close to halfway, we're going to start lap 30 here. Lap 33 will be halfway. As what have you thought about this race so far, guys?
Intense. One word.
It's really been hectic, especially since we've had. I know we've had one big wreck, and that honestly tore up a lot of good race cars. As we see the cars going back into pit road.
As honestly, I would think that most of these guys are pitting on this caution. The big crash was a couple laps ago. I would think, as I am just mesmerized by the blue shade on Luke Fleming's car, but I'm just going to not pay attention to it. That's a really nice shade of blue, but that's my opinion. I would think that these guys pull down a pit lane and they tell the crew, hey, try and get the hammers, try and beat something out, try and fix this further. I mean, that's what I would tell my crew. But it looks like some of them, they're getting the crews to hop over the walls, grab hammers, try and fix things, top off with gas, just, you know, general pit stop things, as we, I believe, are going green next lap.
Yeah, they can hammer on the cars all they want. Once you wreck the car like that, the damage usually is done.
Well, we saw Kurt Busch blow a tire, a left rear, I do believe, Daytona a couple of years ago, or yet last year in the Nationwide Series. Blew the car to smithereens. That crew worked on 8 cautions or something like that? I might have the number exaggerated. They had that car, and they taped the side up, and he won the race. So, I mean, by these guys pulling down pit lane and getting the car fixed, every last bit of damage repair, you never know. I mean, it could win them the race.
Oh yeah, any kind of damage repair will definitely. I mean, it'll definitely help you.
As looks like we are getting ready to go green once again here at Talladega. Justin Cholka leads, or I believe, is Sovic your leader?
He is.
So he's going to take the outside. Maybe he's hoping that back end damage is going to be negated by cars behind him, or he's just going to let the whole field by. I have no idea by checking the scanners here. And my scanners aren't even working. I know Nathan's, yours are, so you could possibly monitor that for us here. Thank you. Please, thank you.
I sure will.
Safety car is off. Nathan Sovic on the way outside. That's what I think he's doing. I think
he's just going to fall back to the back.
leading the field to the green, then he's going to just drop back.
Always got to lead the laps.
He's just leading the laps here, getting experience. As getting down to the green flag, we are underway again here at Talladega. Lap 31 is being started, and let's see if that's exactly what he's doing. He's letting the field by.
Eric Kepler takes him 3 wide right at the start-finish line. Look at him going to the inside, or going back down to the inside now.
Well, I mean, Sovic was on the way outside, so I wouldn't think that it's that. I mean, it is 3 wide, but I don't know. Maybe my thought process is kind of weird. I wouldn't categorize that as 3 wide because the 2 cars on the inside were close, and yeah, I'm just going to shut up because I'm overthinking it. Epler leading, Cholka second, side-by-side Jackson with Tim Smith, who ended up spinning and clobbering the wall in that big crash, is on the outside, dropping to 5th place with Leighton Sabile now battling him, as looks like Epler's going to block like Matt. Why are you blocking in the middle of the race? Well, that was kind of mean to say. 3 wide with Sabile, Whitehill, and Smith. Sabile got clear, and now maybe Luke Fleming is going to try the inside as they go into turn 1.
Smith just gave him a wave out the window, told him to go by. He's falling to the back.
As you got this little group here, 11 cars in this lead draft, with 3 of them, that's the 99, 3, and 7 back there, Sovic, Hawkins, and Hun, hanging out back with Matt Kemp off the lead lap and checking telemetry. Matt Kemp, 198, yeah, he's got really bad front-end damage, obviously, but he's still hanging out. You never know, someone can flip and crash, block the track, and he might win. I mean, that's crazy to think about, but you never know. You never know at a plate track.
And on the off chance it sounded like a broken record, that is the nature of the beast at a plate track.
Well, it's okay, you can repeat yourself. I repeat myself all the time. As single file here, and it looks like Cholka's trying to shove the 8 of Epler away from the pack.
He's doing a very good job at it, actually. They're pulling away from the rest of them. Just the 2.
Dare I say
Once they break that little tandem draft up, they're just gonna fall right back into the clutches of the pack.
Dare I say it? They're trying to tandem.
They're trying to tandem in the tri-oval. That's pretty gutsy at this early of the race.
I mean, it looks as though Fleming and Jackson maybe were trying it, but they couldn't get hooked up. I mean, it's you could say it's a That's a really bad glare on that camera. Someone should move that camera, please. Thank you. Anyway, they're trying to tandem, but they can't get completely hooked up. So you can say it's a fuse between pack and tandem racing.
I'm hearing issues out of the 81 Jeremy Murray. He is falling to the back as well.
Well, Murray, I believe, has parked the car out of that after that last wreck. I'm looking at timing and scoring here, as we just crossed halfway, actually. As I believe that car was destroyed after that big crash, and he just said screw it, hopped out, and got the car towed back on a wrecker. As Eric Epler leads, near Cholka below the yellow line. Now, I didn't hear anything in the driver's meeting about on the last lap, maybe, but it's probably outlawed any lap that you can't go underneath the yellow line.
I believe the rule is the same. And
around is Wilson! Big crash, it's Tim Smith! As Coleman to the inside wall, he's not going to escape damage this time. Caution is out.
Yeah, I believe the 24 is done.
As torn to pieces, it looks like the left rear suspension is destroyed on Tim Smith's car. Leighton Sabile with damage as well.
What happened there?
As I saw around, and then Calamity in turn 4. Dare I say it? Turn 4 is Calamity corner. Can I say? I just said it anyway.
Randall Coleman just drilled the wall of hard again in turn 1.
It had something broke on his car, obviously. I mean, he just smacked that inside wall fairly hard.
From the helicopter, I believe the satellite cuts out. And next thing we know, Tim Smith's heading towards the outside wall, gets hit by Randall Coleman, and there's a transponder issue with the 98 car. And you can see Coleman locks him up. He had a smoke trail from the middle of the track all the way to the wall, as I believe I have just had a satellite issue on my monitor. So,
looks like everybody's going to pit, but Justin Cholka, the 28, Robbie Jackson, and now I'm having technical issues.
Yeah, I imagine they're probably going to have to, come in and fill the tank up. I still believe they're going to be about 10 laps short. We may see some late in the race green flag pit stops. We can only hope they just practice their pit stops, and yeah.
As I'm getting technical issues getting back into the race, we'll try and fix these here. As it's under caution here. We're gonna try and cut this broadcast off and restart it, and restart the monitor to see if we can get it fixed. So we will combine them on demand, and we will be back in So here we are. We are back here at the Talladega Superspeedway. We had a bit of a technical issue. Sorry about that, folks. Satellites didn't play very nice with either of our Nathan Curtis or my monitors. So we're back here at Talladega, as I just mentioned. Pace car ran out of fuel, so they got a new pace car out there. So it is Josh Mertz, Adam Sweet, Nathan Curtis up here in the commentary box. Glad to bring you the call for the Automotive Sports Network. We had that big crash with Tim Smith, and that's right when the satellites gave me an issue. He ran up towards the wall, crashed really, really hard, and apparently, looking at timing and scoring, oh, the 5 is not there. I got mixed up. I can't talk. This is a good thing. We're going back green with Justin Choka leading, and Robbie Jackson in second. Was there anything interesting on the pit stops as I was restarting my monitor? I couldn't really pay attention.
Adam, that'd be up to you on that one, brother.
They just, with 2 to go, they just came back in and topped off so they could have as much fuel in the cars as they could.
Will they? I don't know about fuel mileage. Do you think they'll make it without pitting again?
Not with 27 laps to go. No, the fuel window is usually 21, 22 laps. So we may see some very late green flag pit stops, but, you know, we may have another caution. Who knows?
You'd be insane to clutch at a plate track. You can't do that. Anyway, Justin Choka leads with Luke Fleming and Eric Epler with Robbie Jackson and Austin Hakes, your top 5 here at Talladega. As they're coming around to complete lap 40 here at the 2.66 mile tri-oval that is Talladega. As there used to be a road course in the infield, but I believe they stopped using that around the 1970s. It's kind of a shame, because it was a kind of a better course than Daytona was. I'm probably going to get flamed by Daytona fanboys, but I'm sorry. At least it had more than 2 turns. But anyway, just trying to fill it in as they were single file. Side by side was Epler and Fleming for a moment. Fleming now behind Epler in car number 8. As Randall's still going. That Revolution Motorsports crew must be a genius, as they fixed the car and he's still driving. As you would know, Adam.
That team really only hires the best of the best.
As they saw the car hit the wall and they fixed that thing and he is still going. So, tip of the hat to the Revolution Motorsports boys. As it looks like Tim Smith is still going with a torn up rear bumper on that car. He's soldiering on. So is Chris Hone, and so is Matt Kemp.
Looks like Sean Whitehill had an issue also on the restart. He's going to be a couple laps down.
So many people having issues in this race, including the people up in the commentary box. So everyone having issues here at Talladega. So getting close to the end here at the Talladega Superspeedway. Choka, Epler, Fleming, Jackson, Sabile, Wilson, Gordon, Hakes. Your top pack here. Your top, let's see, is that 8? 9 is Coleman, and 10th is Hawkins. So we have 9 cars in this lead draft. And with that wreck, we had, what, 12, 13 cars in the main pack before that wreck?
Yeah, it was a good-sized field. I'm hearing word that Austin Hakes is actually going to drop back to pick up Randall Coleman.
As they're going to try and tandem their way to the front. I can't guarantee that would work. But we saw it work. They were able to pull away a little bit, but then they got sucked back up when they were when it was, I believe, Choka with Epler. As this field, I would think now they're just riding until the last 5 laps.
That's really all you can do at a place like this. I mean, you don't want to be riding around 22 laps to go and then start getting very racy, and then you end up taking out half the field because somebody makes one wrong move.
As the field winds their way through the tri-oval, and I have refused to make a comment of where the placement of the start-finish line is because I hate doing that, and I won't. But yeah, they wound their way through the tri-oval with Choka leading as that camera still hurts my eyes. Epler second, third, Fleming fourth, Sabile looking to the outside with Wilson. Can they tandem ahead? It doesn't look like they're going to get any ground whatsoever, as most of these cars were involved in that very first accident. As it'd be correct to say that wreck was in front of the entire field with Cholka, and I believe who was leading at the time? Was it Sovic? No, it was Hakes, wasn't it?
I believe it was.
As those two were the only two cars not involved in that first wreck. So most of these cars were involved in that wreck, and they're still up here. As we've had two big wrecks, or crashes. I was about to say wrecks and crashes at the same time. Two big crashes. One was early on, I believe, lap 10, which involved pretty much the entire field when Justin Cholka tried to pass Austin Hakes, accordion the field, and sent Matt Kemp into the, it was lap 20. It sent Kemp into the fence, and he was 10 laps down trying to get his laps back, and then he gets wrecked. And then we had another wreck with Tim Smith having an issue. That might have been a blown tire, maybe, or just a general issue on the car, and it shot him up as Gordon goes to the apron. It shot him up to the track, and he went into the fence as we're 4 wide for a moment, 3 now passing the lapped car of Sovic.
And now I'm hearing word on the radio that possible penalties for passing under caution. I'm not hearing what cars it is, but Randall Coleman is complaining that there has been cars passing under caution.
Well, that's a development. We'll try and get connected to race control so you guys would be able to hear it, but no guarantees. As Cholka leads, let's take a ride on board Luke Fleming's car. He's in the back of this field. Let's take a ride on board the Best Buy Ford here for a lap. That's 3/4 of a lap. That's good enough. I can't hold myself to be quiet. I think I talk too much. Anyway, Cholka leads out of turn 4 with Epler and Sabile. They're just waiting as we're coming to, I believe, 17 laps to go, if my math is right. As Cholka has been out front since the last restart, and I don't think he wants to give that position up.
He's got to watch out, though. You got 2 Toyotas on a move right now, and Daniel Wilson and Alex Gordon. I've been watching them two move outside a lot here lately. And as I say that, it looked like they broke up. But, I've been watching them move up to the front.
And this pack is getting thinner and thinner. Leighton Sabile on the outside. Honestly, let's see. Coleman dropped way back. So he's got too much damage. Sovic's got too much damage. I don't know what Hone's doing. It looks like his car is fine. Maybe he has engine damage?
I don't know, but I'm hearing now that technical issues out of the 75 of Luke Fleming now. He has dropped back to the back.
Oh boy. Fleming has disappeared from timing and scoring, it looks like. Yes, he has. He's disappeared from timing and scoring. We have no idea where he is. As Luke Fleming now out of the pack. So I know many of these drivers, they might be throwing their water bottle out on the track, hoping for a caution, as I certainly would. As many of these drivers, the drivers that are up front, they wouldn't like a caution. But the drivers in the back, I know, would like a caution to tighten this field up, maybe give them a chance to win. As we have 6 cars in this draft.
You see the 28 car just barely hanging on to the draft, but I don't know if I believe he was wrapped up in that very first big accident, and he may have way too much damage to be able to keep up with the rest of the pack.
Well,
along with the 39. Oh,
telemetry reads he's going 216, so he's just not in the draft. But he's going the speed of the leaders. As though it's 2 wide for the lead, nearly 3 wide. We got 2 tandems, you could say. But now they're actually 2 lines of 3. Battling, as on the line, it was Cholka by inches. Timing and scoring reads they tied. as it's getting interesting here as time is ticking down here at Talladega. As Daniel Wilson and Alex Gordon made a run for the lead, and now they are sticking to that plan. As Gordon looking to drop to the inside, maybe he's telling Wilson, why are you so high up on the track? We should get lower. 3 cars on the outside. Sabile looked on the outside, now he's switching to the inside. Can't pick a groove, and now with Sabile on the bottom, that has allowed the bottom to get back even with the top. So it's a big chess game here at Talladega.
I think the outside line's got this one.
At the line, yeah, by about a full car length is Daniel Wilson over Justin Cholka.
It's good seeing the champion, Austin Hakes, running up there in, the top 6. Still holding strong and not worried about his championship. He's up there just pushing away.
As we have a couple cars, Sovic, Smith, and Hawkins. As Hawkins is in 10th place. And Matt Kemp. That engine doesn't sound good. 155-ish miles an hour. Now he's picking up the speed. But with the pack bearing down, that couldn't end very well. We'll see. $12 to go, I do believe, at Talladega.
I may jinx this right here, but we haven't been lucky enough to see the red flag rule yet.
Yeah, we could see it eventually. Maybe, hopefully not.
We would. I mean, there's still 13 laps to go in the race, but I was kind of hoping we would see that red flag just to see how it was implemented.
As I do remember in that Ninja Racing League race, they had the cars park on pit lane, as there was some talk about cars being towed. There were no cars towed in that NRL race, and they were able to have the safety car go around, run its laps, and at the end of the safety car period, when there was 1 lap left, they had all the cars go out on track, and they were perfectly fine to have that incredible barnstorming finish.
Oh, this could be
as lap
interesting
car,
right here,
Tim Smith, 3 wide, Cholka to the inside. And now, to the inside and nearly in the wall, is Hawkins. He saved it. I don't know if that was because of contact or because he was just trying to avoid the pack. But now this has opened up that pack with Cholka still in the lead. Do you think he might be penalized? Or he was shoved to the inside. I don't know.
I don't know, but it moved Derek Epler way back to the back now.
And leading
it's going to be interesting to see him come back to the front.
Wilson with Gordon side by side. Hakes with Cholka, Sabile, Jackson, and Whitehill's in 12th. Now, if Whitehill can get his car, can get back on the lead lap, along with Epler, this could get interesting. Honestly, in my opinion, if there's another caution, let all the cars on the lead are off the lead lap, get back on the lead lap, so we can have as many cars on the lead lap going for the lead. How does that sound?
Oh, I would love it. That'd be an interesting race. Let's say if there was a wreck with 5 to go. No, that would be a fun race back to the line.
As I do believe that's when the yellow line rule. You see where I'm thinking. The red flag rule, would be implemented. As now we're sitting and waiting here for
Now, should we get a caution, we will be able to be racing. We will race back to the line.
As thank you for that little tidbit, as I completely forgot about it. As leading,
Derek Epler looking low on Justin Cholka.
as the director hits the wrong key, that could have ended badly. Looks like the satellite dropped out there for a split second.
What?
We may be running single file, but all the cars out there are just really close. We have 29 going to the outside.
Hakes goes to the outside with Epler and Sabile. Then the 28 and 39 are back there, but it's 3 and 3 with the 2 behind. And I don't think the outside will be able to get the momentum unless those 2 in the back hook up. So we'll see. We have 8 cars in this lead train, 7 of which are on the lead lap. Coming to, I believe, 7 to go.
8 to go, actually.
And I told you my math's not very good.
Confirmation on whether or not they'll be able to make it to the end on gas, so
That
we'll just have to see.
I completely forgot about the fuel, too. That shows you how good my memory is. As they passed the destroyed lap car of Matt Kemp, as they were getting really, really close. Epler with Wilson, Gordon, and Hakes. That could have ended badly. He's the only car on the outside because Sabile is on the far extreme outside. So he's going to wait for, the field to possibly let him in.
NASCAR has confirmed they are good to go on fuel.
So good to go on fuel is the call. As that kind of threw me off guard there. As a lapped car, it's Sovic going to be lapped again. P14, then Hone, Coleman, and Fleming. So Fleming's back out on track. He was in contention to win, and electrical issues bit him as well. There's a lot of electrical issues today. We saw Tim Smith stop on the actual start of the race, and Fleming had issues. And I think those electrical issues transpired to the commentary box as we had our own set of issues.
Yeah, the Talladega SuperSpeedway area had quite a bit of rain last night, so I imagine there's probably just a lot of moisture in the air just in general.
Oh, it could affect the satellite signal. That's something too, yeah. I didn't think about that, because I arrived at the track today. I saw the rain, but I didn't think anything of it, of course. Anyway, enough of the weather report, as Mr. Adam Sweet loves to be a weatherman. Austin Hakes, well, it's either a weatherman call or we talk about cars going single file. It's your choice. As we're coming to 5 to go, I do believe. 5 to go, yes. So now it's getting good. And we're going to see these drivers make moves that they wouldn't normally make. We're going to see who has friends, who has enemies, and who has nobody.
And we may just see the red flag rule.
We may just see it.
Austin Hakes has got to watch out for himself. He's got 3 Toyotas right behind him. You know they're going to work together to try to get to the front.
As Gordon, he's peeking to the outside, telling Daniel Wilson, come on, man, let's go. We don't have enough time. As this isn't like the tandem package where you could fly by someone in a quarter of a lap. You have to pick your move. You have to make it early. And if Wilson just sits there, then I don't know. As Gordon looks to the outside, he's going whether Wilson wants to or not. Well, he peeked back inside. Chris Hunn's going to be on the outside, allowing the field to go by. I don't know what's wrong with the 99. His car looks perfectly fine.
Honestly, on that last restart, I believe he just didn't get through the gears very well and just lost the draft.
And on the outside now, Coleman with Fleming. So those two cars are going to get passed by the lead train. 7 cars within half a second of each other that are on the lead lap. As this is the pack.
All over that 10 car.
As 3 to go at Talladega. And with these perfectly fine lapped cars, do you think they're going to drop in and try and help the pack? I know
Definitely.
Fleming's a good driver. He would do that.
Definitely, they're going to drop in and try to pick the line, push their favorite person to the, to the lead, to the win.
As Gordon, Choka, little bit of an issue. No issue merging though, but it's going to break and it's going to send Epler 3 wide nearly. As that makes an outside groove. As I told you, they're going to make moves they don't exactly want to do. There wasn't a lot of room there. And this is now coming down to crunch time. Sabile looking to the inside. Outside, passing Hawkins in the 3, it looks like. 2 laps to go at Talladega. As we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, as I would always say. Hawkins on the apron. That could end badly. As 5 cars battling for the win. As the 28's a bit too far back, I would think. But never know, a lap and a half to go here at Talladega. Austin Hakes' best friend right now is the double yellow line. You know he won't move from it. And Wilson and Gordon, along with Choka, the 3 Toyotas, have to pick their line on the backstretch, or even better, going into 1, coming to the last lap. Matt Kemp and Tim Smith, they're on the outside. They're going to let this field down through to decide their fate. White flag at Talladega for Austin Hakes. 2.66 miles, less than that now, to decide the winner of the race here in the ASAR SuperSpeedway Series at Talladega. Let's see who makes a move down the backstretch. They stay on the inside. Hakes moves from the bottom a little bit. Sends Gordon.
Gordon to the yellow.
Nearly under the yellow line as that opened the bottom up, and it's going to put Wilson around his choke on Epler as they back it into the fence as we have a wreck in the corner, but it's no more. It doesn't matter. Wilson to the inside with Hakes. He's going to send it to the outside, trying to block. Coming down to the line. Wilson won't get a run at the line. It's going to be. I don't honestly know. As it looked like. Let's check timing and scoring.
Timing and scoring says 29.
Hakes got it. As I thought I saw it right at the last second.
Luke Fleming, an admin.
I saw it right at the line that the 15 had a huge run, and he tried to make it. We're going to try and get confirmation
Couldn't quite get it.
on the results there. But wow, what a finish. That was better than anticipated, honestly, because I thought the 29, honestly, he was a bit far away. He was a bit, he tried to block too early, in my opinion. He sent himself to the outside. And here it is from the helicopter. He went to the outside, and he just stood there. And that's the lap car of Sovic, I do believe. And Gordon got hooked off of Wilson. Wilson tried his hardest, and at the line, as Gordon nearly caught air,
a nose.
at the line by a nose, Austin Hakes is your winner. As now we're going to take a look at what happened to Epler and Cholka going into turn 3, as it looked as though there was a big stack up. As we're going to do it from helicopter camera. Here you are. As you see, Cholka gave Gordon a huge shove. Gordon had such a huge run, he didn't know what to do with it. He tried the inside, and there was only half a car width there. As Wilson then realized that he was there, Cholka tried to come back up, and it looks like they just touched, and they both went around in front of the field, backed it into the fence, and hard hit for Leighton Sabile into Justin Cholka in car number 10. So a big hit. So behind the wall, Robbie Jackson, and celebrating the race win is Austin Hakes. So we're going to go through the final results here. First and foremost, your winner is Austin Hakes in car number 29. In second is Daniel Wilson. Alex Gordon still got third despite spinning crossing the line. Robbie Jackson in fourth. Leighton Sabile had all that engine damage and comes home in fifth. Eric Epler gets sixth, and Justin Cholka seventh. Randall Coleman, involved in many of the wrecks, finishes in 8th. Chris Hone in 9th. Sean Whitehill, I believe, as I was not paying it any attention, he messed up on the start or had a car issue and finishes 10th. Luke Fleming, electrical issue in the closing stages, got back on track, finishes 11th. Josh Hawkins in 12th. Tim Smith, 13th. 14th, Nathan Sovic. 15th, Matt Kemp. 16th, Jeremy Murray. And 17th, Jacob Kraus, who had an issue in the beginning of the race. As there is your victor, or he was, but the crew has moved the car back into the garage. He was in victory lane. As we are going to try now to bring in your race winner. As we are going to try and get him here in a few moments' time. So, your winner, Austin Hakes. So, Austin Hakes, it's Josh Mertz up in the commentary box. It looks like you're still in victory lane, but you have a copy?
Yeah, 10-4, I got you.
As, it looked like you went to block a bit too early, but at the end, it paid off for you.
Yeah, you know, I was trying to help some teammates out too, so, you know, trying to give them a shot at the win, and, you know, unfortunately they didn't get it, but I did, so.
As I believe this is the official crowning of your championship win, as you are the winner and the champion. How was the race from the driver's seat?
It was pretty exciting, we stayed up front for, I think about 20 laps there. Then I didn't really want to be in the middle of the pack, so kind of towards the end I fell back and started to make my way back up there, and we ended up getting the win.
Now, it looked as though, from the commentary box, that the cars were really tricky to drive, especially in a pack. Was it tricky, or was it kind of easy, or?
It was a little bit tricky, especially it seemed like when a car got right behind you going in the corners in the travel, you lost some air and your back end wanted to take off. So yeah, it was a little bit tricky there.
As Nathan, you got anything to ask him?
No, just congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Nathan?
Same here, bud. I just want to say congratulations on your championship. Take it home for Curtis Hakes Motorsports.
Well, thank you.
As your winner, Austin Hakes, we're now going to bring in second place, Daniel Wilson. Daniel Wilson, it's Josh Mertz up in the commentary box. Got a copy, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
You had a huge run, and you come up about a foot short. How frustrating is that?
Well, I was really hoping I could get the win. This is my first time racing here, and I got that win yesterday, so I was really hoping I could make it 2 in a row, but I couldn't lose to a better guy, so I can't be too mad.
It looked as though you and Gordon, about 2 laps to go, Gordon was peeking out to the outside, trying to tell you, hey man, let's go, and it looked like you had the winning strategy, and going down the backstretch, it could have just all unraveled for you.
Yeah, I almost lost it on the backstretch. If you guys watched, you know Alex was really, really close. And I don't know how we kept it from wrecking there, but I don't know if going high would have worked, because I did that earlier and it took a lot of momentum. The cars they don't pull up as well as I'd like them to. So I think I did the best I could tonight. I had a little bit of damage from when I got into a wreck earlier, so that may have contributed a little bit to not being able to get up there as quickly to Austin as I'd hoped, but what can you do about it?
Well, it was all in all a good run, and honestly, I think if you and Gordon hadn't had that little tiny tangle in the backstretch, you might be standing in victory lane, but I hate to tease you like that. Adam and Nathan, got anything to ask him?
Yeah, was there any words between you and Gordon on when to go, or was y'all planning on going together if there was any moves made?
Say one more time, Nathan.
Okay, was you and Alex planning on going together, or was there any word of when you was going to go make your move, or
Well, all top 4 of us were teammates, so we might not be teammates in this series, but we're realistically pretty much teammates. So I didn't know. I was talking to Gordon a little bit, but I don't think he was really comfortable either going outside. So we really just wanted to get a top 4s finish, and I think we got 3 in the top 4. So I don't know. I couldn't ask Alex to go out there with me and me and him risk losing it. So.
Right. Yeah, I just wondered. I noticed y'all was working a lot together on the outside, and it looked like y'all was doing good. So, like Josh said, I think if y'all had went, you could be standing in victory lane.
It's possible. I could also be in a wreck, so really.
Well, yeah, that's true. But Adam, you got anything to ask him?
Nope, just you gave it a heck of a run, man.
Thanks, guys. Hopefully, we can do this a lot more. I like being interviewed by you too.
As top 3 always get interviewed, so if you're ever in a race, try and get in the top 3, and you will get an interview. So, good run, Daniel. You came up a foot short. There's always next week, though. And tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
No problem. So, third place, Alex Gordon. And he will be the last interview for tonight. Alex Gordon, Mr. I want to make a move really, really late in the race, and you nearly crash. Yeah. Third place.
Yeah.
How was your race?
Well, I tell you what, that was one of those interesting super speedway races. The setup didn't really allow you to suck up, so you really had to plan for the end of the race early in the race. I got lucky that where I started, I was around my teammates for most of the race tonight, so we had a plan going in. Obviously, Austin had pretty much locked up. Well, he had locked up the drivers' championship, so we were trying to give him the owners' championship. But we decided we were going to try to ride in a group, which we stayed pretty organized all night. It was, like I said, it was an interesting race. You had a lot of lap traffic for a super speedway. That was interesting. Something I've never really dealt with before. But car was great. Car handled really well. Had really good speed no matter where you put it. I know we got that outside line working a couple times. Actually ended up being the move that got Daniel and myself up to the front. And of course, the outside line's also what ended up prevailing Austin as our winner tonight. But yeah, race went really well. Everything went as planned. So yeah, I had a pretty scary moment there towards the end of the race, but we took care of it. It's a shame my teammate, Pencar,
Cholka.
Sorry, buddy. Your name's not really. Oh, Justin. Sorry, Justin. Sorry, he got taken out in that wreck there. It was just a chain reaction, but it's go time and things happen like that. But yeah, all in all, great race. Real proud of the crew. 77 Eagle One Toyota was real fast tonight.
Did you, as the wrecks, the big wreck early on in the race, how bad was the damage? That bad?
I actually did not get any damage in that. I know I was right there in the middle of that wreck.
I saw cars going everywhere, so I was going to make the mistake sooner or later.
I did too. I might have gotten into the guy that was in front of me. If I did, I apologize. But no, every big wreck that happened tonight, I literally was right in the middle of, and I just closed my eyes and prayed that I'd miss it, and got lucky both times. So that was the reason we stuck around and had as good of a finish tonight. So.
Adam, Nathan, anything to ask?
Actually, I do. One question real quick, Alex. Early in the race, I heard you saying you had some technical issues that you was going to the back. Was you overheating or what?
Well, it was odd when we got going there. It just seemed like the car wasn't really picking up, and I thought I was having some throttle issues. So that's why I was dropping back, because, like I said, you weren't able to suck up, and I thought I just wasn't getting full throttle out of the car. But once I got to the back and realized that it wasn't just me, I was like, oh, okay. So that's when I started making my way back up to the front. So no issues. Just got a little nervous about what was going on with the throttle, but all in all, like I said, it seems like everybody was having the same suck-up issue I was having, so no problems at the end of the day. We brought her home almost scratch-free until I decided to fly across the finish line, but we kept her in about 1.5 pieces tonight, so I say it's a good thing.
There's always the next race, Gordon, so maybe you can get just that closer and maybe finish the race on all 4 tires.
Yeah, let's hope. I mean, we at least made it exciting for the fans, and I guess that's what matters. So, like I said, real happy for my team, Daniel's team, the entire 7 Key Racing team. Great night for us tonight, and hopefully we'll have more performances like that to come. So,
good run, Gordo.
Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
So we had the interviews, and now it's time for the final thought, and I will let you, Mr. Adam Sweet, go first.
Honestly, that race actually went a lot better than I thought it would. I mean, I figured we'd see a lot more cautions than we did. I mean, yeah, the wrecks we did get were really big, but all in all, it was overall a clean race. And, you always want to see a clean race. You want to see clean, hard racing, and that's, save for the few wrecks that we got, that's exactly what we got.
Nathan?
Well, Josh, you was exactly right at the beginning of the race. There was a big one. 2 of them to be exact. One at the beginning, one at the end.
Yeah, I just remembered that.
It was a clean race. But other than that, it was a great race. It finished up beyond expectation, and hopefully we can do it again.
As my final thought, that was better than a normal super speedway race. I mean, you got the single file. That's obvious. You have the great racing, and that finish, honestly, it was kind of unique. I mean, you'd never typically see the lead car jump to the outside and stay there out of turn 4 all the way to eventually triumph in the race. And that's why that made that call so bad, honestly, in my opinion, at the end, because I thought, oh, wow, these two cars are not going to catch the 29. He's way too far out. But then to get Daniel Wilson an inch practically away from winning that race, I was just surprised. And I was surprised that all the cars that ended up flying through the catch fence, aside from Matt Kemp, were pretty much in contention in the middle of that race. Aside, well, Luke Fleming had the technical issue. Coleman had the wall. I mean, a few of the cars that were involved in that first wreck were competing for the win. And that's, honestly, that's a really good sign.
Yes, it is. I was very pleased with the way it happened tonight.
So, anything else to add, guys? Silence?
No, honestly, that's about all I've got.
So, I hope you guys enjoyed watching the ASAR SuperSpeedway Series Round 12 here at Talladega. On Thursday, we will have delayed coverage of the Precision Cup Series for Fast at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So tune in to youtube.com/ASNTVUSA to watch that race on demand. As many other links we have, our Facebook page, facebook.com/Automotive Sports Network, twitter.com/ASNTV_USA, hashtag ASNTVUSA for Facebook and Twitter. Our email for any broadcast inquiries, asntvUSA@gmail.com, and our site, asntvUSA.tk. I said it in the opening, this broadcast was brought to you by JavaShot Designs, and I'm pretty sure Mr. Adam Sweet is smiling next to me. If you need any painting done, any inquiries, be sent to him, facebook.com/JavaShotDesigns. So, I hope you enjoyed yourself, Mr. Nathan Curtis. I hope you're back for the next race that you can do. As for Nathan Curtis, Adam Sweet, and for the rest of our ASN staff, I am Josh Mertz. I hope you enjoyed the race tonight.